Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another College Dunia session, Thoughtful Leaders. This is a platform where we connect with leaders from different colleges and universities and understand their views on higher education. This is an initiative to bridge the gap between the vision of top management and aspiring students. Today, we have with us Mr. Sanjay Padode, founder of Vijaybhoomi University. Mr. Padode is a graduate from Birla Institute of Technology and Sciences, Pilani, with honors in math and electronic engineering. Mr. Padode founded Dataline and Research Technologies Limited to launch for the very first time nationwide online access to financial information via India Online in 1993. After serving 22 years in financial technology and information technology, Mr. Padode chose to dedicate his life to the cause of education and took over as the secretary of Center for Developmental Education, a not-for-profit society which runs IFIM Business School. With his entrepreneurial spirit, in 2018, Mr. Padode founded India's first liberal professional university, Vijaybhoomi University at Karjat in Greater Mumbai region. Welcome to the platform, sir.
My pleasure to be part of it.
So, sir, my first question to you is, as a founder of Vijaybhoomi University, can you throw some light on its genesis and what was the idea behind the establishment of this university?
So, Vijaybhoomi University is a liberal professional university, and I would like to explain the format of a liberal professional university. In our country, we've had a very streamed format of education. So, in your 10th standard, one would get into a science, commerce, or an arts stream. From science, you can go to engineering, medicine, and some options. Commerce, you have some options, and arts, similarly, you have some options. There is no way from an arts guy to come to commerce. There's no way for a science guy to go, or arts guy to come to engineering. That doesn't happen anymore. And that suited the country very well till we were a non-liberalized nation. The moment we got liberalized, and the moment IT became our main stronghold as far as the world's perception of India is concerned, we came in the front line of driving the change that's happening to the world. So we are the guys who are creating the new apps, we are the guys who are creating the new startups, we are the guys who are adding to the volatility, uncertainty and complexity and ambiguity of the world, the entire VUCA system. Now, when you look at this VUCA world, you cannot have an individual who is programmed to just do one thing. Because when you're looking at complexity, volatility, to handle those kind of problems, you got to have the context right. You got to have a broader context. You need to know that, if I make this change, where all the impact would be. And therefore, a broader understanding of the context would give you a more robust and an accurate solution. So for that, how do I create a professional, say an engineer, who understands the context of law? Or how do I create an engineer who understands the context of business? So to do that, we went down exploring and figured out that the only system that allows that is the liberal arts education framework. In liberal arts, it's assumed that the student who's joining the program is not very sure about what the student wants to pursue. He's in the mode of discovery. So he tests, he shops, he checks, and then he decides and curates a degree. Now we wanted to bring that same flexibility into professional education. So what we have done is, when a student joins Vijaybhoomi University, first of all, the student is not admitted to a program. The student is admitted to the university. And the student has the flexibility to make the choice of the degree up till the second year. So in the first 2 years, we call it the discovery phase. What the student does is, he has to do courses from various schools that are offering various types of degrees. So he has to do courses from humanities, performing arts, he has to do courses from business, he has to do courses from law and society, has to do courses from design, has to do courses from science, data science or whatever. So he takes a broad-based set of courses, and during these 2 years makes a choice that, look, I want to pursue engineering. And then there's a clear-cut laid out path for you to graduate with the professional degree these are the kind of credit load you will have to take to cover in your 4-year or 5-year tenure at Vijaybhoomi University. So that is the format. So therefore, we are using the liberal arts framework to deliver a professional degree, and therefore it becomes a liberal professional university. So that's new, and that's the first of its kind in a country. It's also possible that a student may choose after the second year that I don't want any one of these professional degrees. I yet want to pass out with a Bachelor of Arts with a major in business, or a Bachelor of Arts in information science. That is possible with our degree as well. When we say a professional degree, it's an engineering degree, it's a law degree, it's a business degree, it's a design degree. When I talk about an arts degree, yes, you would do the same coursework, but may not be to that in-depth and that specialization which you would do in a professional degree. So that's the essence of Vijaybhoomi University.
Thank you so much for sharing the genesis and the idea behind the formation of this university and how different it is vis-a-vis the orthodox system of education present. So moving forward, sir, can you've been a part of various leadership roles, and so what is your philosophy of leadership and how would you describe your leadership style?
So see, I don't consider myself from a very old generation, but I don't consider myself from today's generation as well. So I'm somewhere in between, right? So I have seen leadership transform. I actually graduated when our country was not yet liberalized. Okay, I graduated in the year 89 and we got our liberalization in 91. And though we got a liberalization, it was not a digital liberalization. It took 3 to 4 years for old habits to change and people to change. So I have observed various types of leadership patterns. In the earlier times, it was very high amount of command and control, very hierarchical, where it was a very top-down approach. All the decisions were made by the one man on top. But when you go to scale, when you increase your business to scale, and you expect one man to take decisions of so many problems that are happening, that kind of a format cannot work. So the entire format has to be empower, make people responsible and accountable for their own doings. And that is my style of leadership. So if you look at the construct of the Vijaybhoomi University as well, we have 5 schools. Each school is run by a dean, and the dean has his own governing council, the dean has his own board of studies. There's an academic council that bridges all the schools together, but each school is completely autonomous. The only obligation of each school is to offer those level 1, level 2 programs to all students. They cannot discriminate the offering of their program, but they can discriminate in offering of their degree. They can only give the degree of the professional degree of the school if the student completes all the credits that are required for an engineering degree or a data science degree or a design degree. But they cannot disallow a student from choosing a course of data science even though he is doing a humanities course. So that is the only restriction. Otherwise, they are free to build their own research, they are free to do their own curriculum, they are free to set their own faculty. So that's my style of leadership. It's about creating a framework, empowering the person to operate within the framework, and trusting the person to have, to be able to deliver what he's able to deliver, and create a very, very strong database review mechanism, which is it's self-telling for the person to know whether he's performing or not performing. Doesn't need to be told from the top. If everything is automated, data is coming to you, you know whether you're doing well or not, right? So somebody doesn't have to tell you you're not doing well. In today's world, technology helps you. So it's a lot of technology-driven leadership, and it's more of transformational. So if I have to give you a simple analogy, my analogy would be I am the vision for the university, but not the delivery of the vision. So if I were to drive a car, I'm the guy looking outside the windscreen, not inside the car. What's happening inside the car is to be done by various people. I just set the comfort level, the ambience, and provide them with the tools and the necessary resources to actually deliver. So it's very inclusive in nature, it's very transformational in nature, it's not transactional in nature.
Thank you for sharing those insights, Alan. And like you said rightly, it's a very inclusive style of leading a team. Stemming on from what you said, so how is the curriculum being modified to be in sync with the changing trends?
So we were very fortunate. The national education policy, we conceived this about 4 years ago. And probably Dr. Kasturi Rangan also conceived the same thing 4 years ago. It so happened that when our university came into play, the national education policy came to play. And the national education policy is practically saying everything that we are saying. So there is
Right.
zero misalignment between what we are thinking and they are thinking. They are thinking of a credit bank that makes my life so easy. Because in our university, we have already got about 7 partnerships with top schools in the world. So we've got collaboration with State University of New York, ESCP Europe, University of Wollongong, Australia, Newcastle University in Australia. We have with University of Texas Arlington. We have with Paris School of Business, ESC Ren. Whole lot of partnerships which we were worried upon. How will we do credit transfers? And there comes national education policy saying credit bank is allowed and makes work very easy for us. So yes, we are 100% aligned with the policy. I think the policy is very future looking, and because we were future looking, so obviously I will say the policy is future looking, and it's absolutely aligned. So I'm not worried about the policy perspective.
Continuing this discussion on NEP, so what do you see are some of the biggest challenges with respect to the implementation of the policy? You have had the same idea of credit transfers and multiple entry and exit, and that is why you created the liberal format. So, what are the biggest challenges do you see with respect to the implementation on a whole, and how it is going to impact the entire education system?
The biggest implementation is the mindset of the people. See, we have come many years since our education system was there, and the people have already, in their minds, they know how to deliver a degree. There is a certain set process. For them to go out of that box is going to be a big challenge. I think what will be required is the new generation faculty that will come in that can really drive the execution of this. The only challenge is going to be faculty in this. Nothing else. I think infrastructure doesn't change. Technology is actually making infrastructure redundant. Technology is making teaching very easy. But what the challenge is going to be, are people adapting technology? Are they able to leverage what is happening? And are they able to? So what people can do in such an open system is that in an open system, you can yet run a siloed system. So when I say I can yet continue on with my Bachelor of Degree, Art degree in NEP, nothing will go wrong with it. A traditional degree can agree because NEP has opened it up more. So you can yet be running a closed path, right? Whether people have the mindset to use the openness that's available with the policy is going to be what is something that needs to be tested by time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, coming back to something which is again hit all of us. So, due to COVID-19, students have become skeptical about the final year placements. What are your thoughts on that, and how is Vijaybhoomi University addressing the whole obstacle?
See, the COVID-19 has impacted everybody and everything. So it's not only impacted placements, it's impacted the institution, how we deliver, it's impacted the mindset of the student where he's thinking whether, so a student was brought up by the parents saying that beta tu engineer banega ya doctor banega. Today COVID-19 has happened and the student is wondering, he's got that 6 month of time of the lockdown where he's wondering, should I become engineer or should I become doctor? So a lot of things, and even the father is thinking and the parents are thinking. So this is a moment where I can only tell you one thing, that the old normal is dead. I cannot tell you that this is the new normal. We have to create the new normal. And one of the things that has died with the old normal is the practice of placements. So everything that was done in education was basically targeted towards placement. That's why what was important in choosing a university was placement package kitna hai, not main kitna seekhunga. The objective of a university is to deliver education, not give you a job. If you get good education and good learning, you have ensured yourself for getting a good job for life. right? So I think that practice needs to change, and that will come in. And when you look at COVID-19, that is creating that phenomena. Today, people are working from home. Today, people will start learning from home. People will start interning from home, right? So the environment is completely, when you say placement, what happens in placement? I'm sitting at home learning from university. Then you get placed in a company. What happens next day when you get placed in a company? You're sitting at home and working for a company. Nothing has changed for you. You're just sitting at home, just that you're doing some other work. So there is a lot of transformation that's taken place because of COVID-19. But for me, it's a good thing that's happened in terms of disrupting what it was supposed to deliver. So from that perspective, I think I'm hoping that people will rethink. Opportunities will come back, economies will bounce, people will start recruiting. I'm sure students will get jobs. This is a temporary phase which we need to overcome and adapt to the new normal and create the new normal. And new normal will again come back. We will eat food, we'll do everything that we did in the past. Maybe in a different way, but everything that we did is going to happen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Stemming on to being a part of the new normal, are you planning to expand the number of courses being offered at the university going in the future?
So like I told you, we are starting with 5 schools. One is School of Data Science, School of Design, School of Business, School of Law, and School of Humanities and Performing Arts. We intend to add schools of hospitality and tourism. We intend to add schools of engineering. But our addition of school depends on the ability to hire faculty, good faculty, which aligns with our. So first we get the dean, then we start the school, rather than first start the school and then get the dean. So we are basically looking for faculty, telling that if you have a great idea, a great program to run, you can please join Vijaybhoomi University, and we will give you the runway to build a nice program in a very independent and autonomous manner. So we are all out looking for the best faculty to come and join us, deliver the best academic experience to our students. So we will be adding programs.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That brings in a lot of hope for aspiring students with respect to new courses. Your final thoughts, sir. What would be your suggestion or a message to the students who are aspiring to be a part of Vijaybhoomi University?
The only message I would like to give them is, this is the place to discover your passions. This is the place to make your career and to make your life full of happiness, prosperity, and also meaningful, in the sense that we are not talking about this whole career business is about making money. We are talking about this whole education business is about enabling the society, enabling yourself as an individual to contribute to humanity and live and earn the gratification that the contribution brings in. I think that is the real award that each of you, the student of Vijaybhoomi University, should be looking for, not looking for a package that will follow in any case. That's the way I would look at it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your vision and sharing deep insights about how the university is catering to the needs of the society. Thank you so much for being a part of this session, sir. It was wonderful having you here.
Pleasure meeting you, Nitin, and thank you. My pleasure.